Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those that are brand new, my name is Kristen and you've reached my little corner of the world. Here we do a couple things, all right? Every Monday, if you guys haven't caught the trend, I bring my Rise and Glow series. What that is a series that provides you with a power journal prompt, a gratitude journal prompt, an affirmation, a Bible verse, because yes, on this channel, we are Bible girlies, and if that's not your cup of tea, please keep moving. I also provide you with a Bible question that goes pretty much in alignment with the theme and the topic of the day. And I also am going to finish out the day with a song of the day. All right. So what this, I guess you can say, series is intended for is to help you start your week in a positive, uplifting, I guess you can say warm feeling way. All right. And for the month of February, we've been following this trend, talking about self-love, talking about how to show love not only to others, but to ourselves, and also how to replenish maybe the confidence side as well. Because throughout life, you may experience ebbs and flows where you feel like your highest self, and then there are moments where you're in your valleys, where you're in the lowest of lows, okay? And in either one of those parts of your life, these videos are here to help you elevate and take, I guess you can say, the self-love that you're already showing to yourself or the love that you're showing to others to the next level. All right. And other videos, if you are new to the channel in general, I have a few others. The other series that I've been working very hard on this particular month is The Beauty Becomes Her, where we work on our inner glow up from the inside out before we break out our makeup brushes and hair and beautiful clothes, all of that stuff. Okay. And then I give you guys a book of the month, a few different things. I know I'm kind of late on that because I'm almost finished with the book that I've been reading, and I want to kind of talk about it in a way that is understood to those that will be interested in picking up the book when they have a chance. And also I want to kind of figure out like what were the true meanings that I got out of the book too. So we'll do that before the month is over. But before I move further, I do want to thank all of you guys, all the supporters that have liked, commented, subscribed, all of those things. All of that helps me keep these videos going left and right. And it also lets me know what you guys kind of want to hear. So I won't stop the music there. I'm going to keep it rolling. And before we get into the Rise and Glow episode of the day, I invite you to pick up a pen, grab something to write with. I actually have quite a few journals in front of me. This one is my favorite, the one I write out of the most. It's the Self-Care Journal, a journal for taking care of you by the Freedom Press period. You can get this from your local Target in the card section. I invite you to grab your little Bible. Mine is pink and yellow because yes, I'm Kristen and I have to have everything pink. And then I also invite you to grab a warm beverage or something that just keeps you cozy. Okay. It's still wintertime, so we're not jumping into the ice cold smoothies just yet, unless that's your drink of choice. Grab some water, whatever. But today I have just green tea. It's in my mermaid cup from my bestie. This is a drink that my grandmother used to drink every morning as a child, and I used to come in and watch her drink it and read her books, and I just was inspired by that. I said, she's starting her morning off so calm, so cool, so collected. That is the woman that I want to be. My mom too, except she takes hers to work, but this is how I start my day. So let's get into the theme and the topic of the day. And I feel that the best way to end February is all about showing gratitude and being grateful for where you are, who you are, and what's to come. Okay. So the power of gratitude and how it transforms your self-love. So like I mentioned, we've been on this journey all month on ways where we can bring that glow back into ourselves and then be able to give it to others. And gratitude truly starts with self-transformation. It starts with changing the perspective of self-criticism, where you're constantly putting yourself down because you aren't exactly where you're supposed to be because society tells you to, and changing that to self-acceptance, meaning I love the skin I'm in. I love the person that I'm becoming. I love the mother that I am, just as an example. I love the worker that I am. I love the girlfriend, the daughter, the sister, whoever. I love that person in me, and being able to say that with confidence instead of saying it like it's a punishment, okay? Also with gratitude, it gives you an idea and a way of being a lot more kinder to ourselves. Okay. Over the last, I would say decade, maybe in the 21st century, it feels like we've been in some ways mean to ourselves because we watch so much of what everyone else is doing that we think that the things that we're doing, whether it's, simply working a 9-to-5 job or simply getting up and taking our kids to school and not having a nanny do it. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if those are the things that you're doing in your life and you're watching other people on social media do other things, maybe they have help. Maybe, you're probably like me, a solo parent, and you don't have that other parent in the household to help you every single day, and you have to figure things out. Sometimes, we get so hard on ourselves. We say, are we, letting our kids down? Are we letting ourselves down? Are we holding ourselves back? But in reality, you got to flip that on its head and say, this is exactly where God has asked me to be. This is where he needs me to be. This is going to elevate me. This is going to make me stronger, because essentially our kids or whoever's in your household, they're watching you. They're watching, the transformation within yourself, but it's up to you to have that, to kickstart that transformation. And it begins with gratitude. So let's go into the journal prompt first, because I kick it off with a power prompt. And my power prompt, I have it written down, is what is one thing about yourself that you can celebrate today? And this begins by starting to acknowledge any strengths or victories that you've done and that you've accomplished. So as you guys, if you've been on my channel, you've seen this lovely jar, and I actually wrote on it this time, my I did it jar. That is one way you can look back and appreciate all of your accomplishments, maybe for the year, for the week. I'm doing it like every day or every time something happens, but I give myself maybe a second to remember like the journey that I've been on. All right. Let me give you guys one thing that I am grateful for. I'm just looking at this question again. I can celebrate the fact that I am able to provide my son with a warm, loving household. It's just me, but I'm able to keep a roof over his head. I'm able to give him warm, nutritious meals. I'm able to get up and get him to school every day. I'm able to, when he comes home from school, cook him a warm meal for dinner, give him hugs and love, make sure he has the things that he needs to keep his male hygiene up. I'm able to give him educational books. I'm able to let him have his toys and games, the things that he loves. Those are things I am eternally grateful for, and I can celebrate myself with, because as mothers, if you are a mom listening to this, pet mom, regular kid mom, whoever, sometimes it's easy for us to get down on the fact that we, like I said, we're not exactly where we are supposed to be and society tells us to. And so, yeah, I have to take a minute to celebrate myself. And this weekend was no different. Okay. Quick story time. I did take my son on a quick mini, I call it staycation because we didn't leave the state of Michigan, but we went out to a place called Frankenmuth. If you've been in Michigan, it's like a little small German town, but it's like full of like chocolate and lots of yummy food and like old school toys. And instead of, booking this gigantic water park that Sage had in the back of his head, I just found a small hotel with a swimming pool, and we had a blast. He was able to make friends. We were able to kind of just chill in the hotel room and watch old school cartoons, the Tom and Jerry's of the TV shows from a long time ago, Scooby-Doo. We had brought some snacks back from, visiting the little town, and we just enjoyed ourselves. And in that moment, I was able to just truly celebrate the ability to be a mother. I was able to celebrate just spending time with him and celebrate the fact that I was able to do those things for my kid. So take a second, write that down, use your pen and use your journal if you haven't, and write down one thing that you can celebrate about yourself today. All right, let's go into the gratitude prompt. The gratitude prompt ties into this. For those that are new and are still kind of catching up with how I do my gratitude, instead of telling you to write 3 things that you're grateful for, you can do that if that's easier for you. I actually give you a question, something specific to think about that ties back to the power journal prompt the one that we just did, and it also ties into the theme. So it gives you something to really resonate with and bring more appreciation to. So the question that I wrote down is, what is something you have in your life today that you prayed for, and appreciate it, what already exists? So let me think about that. So for me, something that I have in my life today that I prayed for, actually, I'll say 3 things, okay? It's hard for me to pick. I ran out of space in my journal, but I'll give you guys 3 things. Okay, so I mentioned my son a lot. Let me tell you a quick story on this side, why he is obviously number 1, alongside a few other things. Back when I was maybe like 18, 19 years old, okay, on Facebook. This is when, Facebook was still being heavily used more than it is now. I happened to scroll and I found this picture, and I'll have to find it and share it with you guys on my website, of a little boy. It was a drawing, okay? It wasn't like an actual portrait. It was just a drawing. And little boy, he was fair skinned. He had like reddish brown hair, and he had blue eyes, and he had these features. And I saved this picture, and I'll find it. And I was like, when I become a mom, I think my son's gonna look like this. It's weird. It's like you ever stumble upon something and you're like, this is maybe intended for me to see. But I saved the picture. And again, I was 18, so I wasn't thinking about being a mom at that point. But I said, if and when I ever have a child, I think my kid's gonna look like that. Okay. All right, fast forward to maybe 2018, 19, because he had to be like 2 or 3 years old, like before he grew like this gigantic afro. And Sage was sitting by the door. That's his name. And I just happened to take a picture of him because he was looking at something. I don't know. But it's funny. I took the picture and I looked back at that portrait, or the little, drawing of the little boy from years ago. And Sage looks identically to this picture. Now, granted, he is my son. He looks like me, and his father, but he looks like the picture. It was a little weird. So it was kind of like, it was intended for me to see that, but it allowed me to say, I kind of put that prayer in motion that this is who I think my son's gonna be. And he turned out to be this little boy in the picture. He still is, but it just so happened it worked like that. Okay. That's the one thing that I can say is something that I pray for in my life today that I have and I appreciate, because he's taught me a lot about myself, how to be patient, how to I guess you can say take someone else's feelings into account, how to be more responsible, how to prioritize, how to strategize. Like, he's taught me so many different things and still teaching me, The second thing that I prayed for that I have today, if he's listening, he's probably going to be smiling on his way to work, is the man of my life. Okay. So for years, I thought for the longest time that I was unlovable. I thought that I was only going to be able to find, I'm just going to say this, men that did not always have the best intentions, because I was this person that wore her heart on her sleeve and I just loved hard. So it was kind of like, oh, this guy told me it was pretty, so okay, I just kind of went with it. But when it comes to the guy that I'm dating now, he made me look at things a little differently and be patient, not only with him, but with myself at the same time. There's no rush. There's no, I guess you can say, specific time period where things have to get done. And I don't know if it's the fact that he's older than me that made me look at him a little differently, but even the approach to us meeting, we met through a dating site. We'll get into that different story a little later, but it was the questions that we had. We talked about books and museums and like things that people may think are boring, but that was the nature of our conversation. And from there, we talk a lot about our careers, about going back to school, about, what we want the future to look like different things like that. And those are conversations that I dreamed about having with, in the past, in my dating history. But I think God was setting me up for what I truly needed. And it wasn't, this big, strong guy, even though that's who he is. It's more so he was setting me up for someone that can teach me to learn to love myself even more than I love the person. You see what I'm saying? So that's something I'm truly grateful for. And the last thing that is something that I have in my life today that I pray for is my career. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I spent 10, 11 years in sales, and I dreamed about getting into marketing for a very long time, since I was in high school. And so when the opportunity came to get the role that I have now, not only do I run an entire nation, okay, North America, I'm able to write, I'm able to research, I'm able to be creative. And it's funny, I just love hearing, you know, the appreciation from my team, not only of me being there, but of the work that I put in. And I think now, as a 30-year-old woman, I'm able to say, hey, I may not be in this high-rise building, I may not have my glass office yet, but I do have the career that I dreamed about a long time ago, and I'm eternally grateful. So take that into consideration, my story, but then also your own. And again, write the gratitude question, which is, what is something you have in your life today that you prayed for? And take that into account. Next is our affirmation. The way I do my affirmations is that I give you an affirmation to think about, to resonate with, that relates to the topics that we've been talking about. I ask that you maybe say it 5 times. I actually said this one 10 times because I was just feeling it. Say it 5 times and then write it in your journal. So in mine, I usually typically write it towards the bottom because it's the last thing in this journal. And so with that, as you're, going through your day, you may slip back and think back to maybe even one statement from this particular affirmation, and I guarantee you'll feel 1% better and appreciative of the things that you have. So the affirmation is, I am grateful for who I am, where I am, and the love I give myself daily. I'm gonna read that again and say it again. It is, I am grateful for who I am, where I am, and the love I give myself daily. Okay? Write that down and say it about 5 times. Okay. Next, for my Bible girlies, you stuck around this long, is our Bible verse of the day. And it's coming out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. And I'm still getting used to where all the books are in the Bible. Is hard because they're like, it's hard to remember the chapter. So don't mind me. I'm actually going to flip to it now. If you have the Bible app on your phone, you can still do that and listen to me. I think you should be able to. Okay, so, all right, so it's coming out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8. I'm actually going to go there. Okay, so verse 8 says, where are you? Okay, but we belong to the day, so we should control ourselves. We should wear faith and love to protect us, and the hope of salvation should be our helmet. All right, so I'm going to read that again. It says, but we belong to the day, so we should control ourselves. We should wear faith and love to protect us, and the hope of salvation should be our helmet, okay? So what that means and what it's telling me is that, in a sense, gratitude allows you to stay grounded where you are in the moment and not get so far ahead as to think, where you should and should land in the future. God wants you to remain in control of who you are and what you're doing right now, because that in itself is going to dictate what happens down the line for yourself. And even the first line, but we belong to the day, which means we don't belong to the past. It no longer exists. It's happened already. And we don't belong to the future. We belong to the day, which means to the moment that you're sitting in right now listening to this. And it also says that, we should wear faith and love to protect us. So at all times, that ties back to the gratitude and appreciation of life and breathing, because there are many people in this world that did not have that opportunity to wake up just like you did. You need to sit back and truly resonate in the faith that God is doing the things that he's doing for you for a reason, and he needs you to appreciate it, even if it's tough, even if you find moments where you're like, geez, he's giving me the toughest battles of the world, but he's doing that to prepare you for something even better that is to come. But he wants you to stay focused on the now, okay? And with that, I'm going to give you guys the question. The Bible question that goes in tandem with the Bible question. The Bible verse is, how can gratitude help you grow closer to God and deepen your self-love? Okay. The way that I would answer this question is pretty simple. I would say over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been able to really hone in on what the word gratitude means and how it can align with what I foresee my future to be. Because this is something I'm teaching my son, is that even if you may not go to that gigantic water park, or you may not have that cookie that you really wanted, but mommy gave you a warm meal, you should be grateful for the things that you are able to do, because there are people in this world that don't have the same opportunities. Going back to what I said. And it's allowed me to really sit down and thank God for everything that he's helped me through, every opportunity that he's provided to me, every lesson that he's forced me to learn, because at the same time, it's allowed me to grow into the woman that I am today, and to be the mother that I am, and to look back and say, hey, 15, 16-year-old Kristen would be super proud, and she'd be smiling because she knows that her future is bright. Okay, and your future is bright. And I can't say that enough. All right, you guys, before I go, I'm going to leave you guys with my song of the day. Yes, I do add these now. And it actually comes from Miss Natasha Bedingfield. I know this is an old school one because I'm an old school girly at heart, but this song, every time I hear it, my spirits just get lifted through the roof. Okay, the song of the day is Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten. I know you guys have heard that song. It's my favorite. It's my son's favorite because he's heard it on a movie, but he's heard me play it, so now he's like, oh, I kind of like it. It's a song that just allows you to appreciate being in the now and recognize that your story is only yours to tell, no one else's. All right, so with that, I invite you guys to like, comment, subscribe if you like this video, share it with someone that you know needs to hear it, and replay it anytime that you need reassurance, or I guess you can say guidance back to the gratitude and appreciation that you need to propel you forward for self-love. Well, with that, have a great rest of your day, guys.